When the body feels exhausted, sleep should arrive easily. Muscles feel heavy, eyelids droop, and movements slow down. Yet the mind often does the opposite. Thoughts become louder, memories resurface, worries line up one after another, and sleep feels strangely distant. This resistance is not a failure of willpower or discipline. It is the result of how the brain has evolved to protect, process, and prepare, even when the body is ready to rest. To understand why the brain resists sleep, it helps to separate the body from the mind. Physical tiredness comes from muscles, energy use, and the need for repair. Mental alertness comes from systems designed to keep you aware of your surroundings. These systems do not always switch off at the same time. The body can be tired while the brain remains alert, scanning for meaning, patterns, and potential threats. One reason this happens is because the brain treats quiet moments as opportunities. During the day, attention is constantly pulled outward. Sounds, conversations, screens, tasks, and responsibilities keep the mind occupied. At night, when those inputs fade, the brain finally has space. Instead of resting immediately, it fills the silence with thoughts. This is not intentional. It is the brain doing what it does best, processing information. Throughout the day, experiences are stored temporarily. Conversations, emotions, small stresses, and unfinished tasks are held in short-term systems. Sleep is when the brain decides what to keep and what to let go. Before it can do that, it often brings those memories forward. This is why random moments from years ago can appear just as you are trying to fall asleep. The brain is sorting, not distracting you on purpose. Another reason the brain resists sleep is safety. From an evolutionary perspective, falling asleep meant becoming vulnerable. Early humans could not afford to sleep unless conditions felt safe. Darkness reduced visibility. Strange sounds became harder to identify, and threats were more difficult to predict. Even today, the brain retains a version of this instinct. When lights go off and the environment becomes quiet, part of the brain stays alert, listening and monitoring. This alert system is controlled by areas responsible for survival. They do not respond to logic or reassurance easily. You can tell yourself that you are safe, that nothing is wrong, and that you need sleep. But the alert system responds to signals, not words. If the brain senses uncertainty, emotional tension, or unresolved stress, it delays sleep as a protective measure. Modern life intensifies this effect. The brain evolved for slow transitions between day and night. Today, artificial light, screens, and constant stimulation blur those boundaries. Bright light tells the brain that it is still daytime. Notifications, videos, and scrolling keep attention active, even if you stop using devices before bed. The after effect lingers. The brain does not shut down instantly. It needs time to unwind. And without that time, it resists sleep. Stress plays a major role as well. When the body is tired but the brain is stressed, sleep becomes difficult. Stress hormones keep the mind alert. They narrow focus and increase vigilance. This response evolved to help humans survive danger. Unfortunately, the brain does not distinguish between physical threats and modern worries. An upcoming meeting, an unfinished message, or an unresolved conversation can trigger the same alertness as a real danger once did. At night, when distractions fade, stress has more room to speak. Thoughts loop because the brain is trying to solve problems. It believes that staying awake might help find solutions. From the brain point of view, sleep can wait if something feels unresolved. This is why trying harder to sleep often makes it worse. Effort signals urgency, and urgency keeps the brain awake. There is also the role of control. During the day, the conscious mind directs attention outward. At night, that control loosens. The brain shifts toward a more associative mode, where thoughts connect freely. This state is close to dreaming, but not quite there. If you are anxious or overstimulated, the transition can feel uncomfortable. The brain resists crossing into sleep because it has not yet slowed enough to let go. Another factor is habit. The brain learns patterns quickly. If nights are often spent worrying, scrolling, or thinking intensely, the brain associates bedtime with mental activity. Over time, simply lying in bed can trigger alertness. This does not mean something is wrong. It means the brain has learned a routine. Changing it requires patience. not force. Interestingly, the brain can also resist sleep because it values quiet wakefulness. Some people experience their clearest thinking at night. Without interruptions, ideas flow more freely. The brain notices this and begins to protect that time. It delays sleep because it recognizes the stillness as useful. This is why creative thoughts often appear late at night. The brain is not being difficult. It is taking advantage of rare silence. Fatigue itself can increase mental noise. When tired, the brain has less energy to regulate thoughts. Normally, attention filters out irrelevant ideas. When energy is low, that filter weakens. Thoughts drift, jump, and repeat. This can feel like the brain speeding up, when in reality it is losing control over focus. The result is a restless mind and a tired body. There is also the chemical balance of sleep. Sleep is guided by rhythms, not commands. Certain chemicals build up during the day and create sleep pressure. Others promote alertness. If these systems are out of sync, the brain resists sleep even when the body feels exhausted. Irregular schedules, late meals, caffeine, and emotional stimulation can all shift this balance. Importantly, resisting sleep does not mean the brain is refusing rest. It means the brain is preparing for it in its own way. Before sleep, the mind often revisits emotions. Feelings that were pushed aside during the day come forward. This can include sadness, excitement, regret, or anticipation. Sleep involves a loss of conscious control, and the brain wants emotional states to be settled before that happens. This is why calming routines help. They do not force sleep. They signal safety and predictability. Repeating gentle actions tells the brain that nothing urgent remains. Over time, this reduces resistance. The brain learns that sleep is not a risk, but a continuation of safety. It is also why acceptance matters. When you stop fighting wakefulness, the brain often softens. Resistance creates tension. Tension signals alertness. Letting thoughts pass without engaging them removes urgency. The brain eventually recognizes that there is nothing to solve, nothing to prepare for, and nothing to guard against. The brain does not resist sleep to frustrate you. It does so to protect you, process your experiences, and maintain awareness. In the modern world, these systems sometimes stay active longer than needed. Understanding this can reduce the frustration that keeps sleep away. Sleep arrives most easily when the brain feels unneeded, when there is nothing left to monitor, fix, or remember. It lets go. The body may be tired first, but the brain follows when it feels safe, settled, and unobserved. If your mind stays awake while your body begs for rest, it is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. With time, calm, and familiarity, it remembers how to rest too.